Hey guys, so I finished my exposure. It really, I didn't really feel a bit of a. To be honest, I wasn't really rating my anxiety because it's so low these days. I don't feel the need to see the huge swings of like an 80 to a 70 or a 70 to a 50. That being said, I had some food. And what I'm going to happen to, in terms of just a quick update on my videos, I'm going to take a hiatus for about 3 days. I bought a tablet that's going to be coming in about 3 days, and hopefully it will help me make videos better, because what I'll do is I'll have the tablet kind of like facing my phone where I make my videos, and I'm going to basically have the tablet record, for example, stuff about psychology that I could comment on in like a fair use way, so that I'm not obviously copywriting anything. Mostly what I'll do is I'll work with stuff I've purchased from like the iTunes store, A&E's, Obsessed. So what I do is I probably like go through it with you guys, comment on it, react on it, perhaps talk about things that they're talking about on it, and things that have also been discussed on my channel. For example, exposure therapy would be the big thing I'd talk about. I definitely want to show exposure therapy to people, because for a long period of time now, unfortunately, you guys don't see the physical manifestations of exposure therapy anymore. You don't see the crying, the heat, the sweating, the walking around, the confusion, whatever you want to call it, just the absolute, you feel like you're gonna just die. And I'm thankful for that, because unfortunately though, for you guys, you don't get to see what it feels like to actually have a full-blown panic attack. So that's what the purpose of the videos are going to be starting. In terms of this guy, he's very interesting, and I mean that, in the most I'm not gonna lie, he's not interesting at all. He's a very boring person. What he's talking about with his cognitive distortions, he's literally talking like he's doing a PhD dissertation. And the next one is, and the next, and I know it's interesting information, so we're gonna get through it. It's just, yeah, we're gonna. What's probably gonna happen is, yeah. Screw it, I'm not going to take the hiatus. I'm going to actually do the 3 days, or however, 3 days, and after 3 days I'm going to just end it. Not my channel, I'm going to end this kind of cognitive distortions 2, 3, 4, 5 type of titling I've been doing, and kind of say, well, that's it. I have nothing else to say about cognitive distortions. I have really nothing else to say about thinking errors. I'm going to get more into like exposure therapy again, kind of my bread and butter, kind of like I always love talking about. So let's just finish off with the rest of the cognitive distortions. The next one he goes into is called personalization. Right? Personalization obviously seems pretty self-explanatory. It's taking things personally instead of giving proper weight to more likely explanations for the other person's behavior. Take an example. He gave an example, something about New Day at Work. And I wasn't really paying attention, so I'll make my own example, and I hope it's going to be somewhat correct and somewhat relatable and somewhat also, makes sense. For example, let's say you're driving, on the road and you're, get cut off. So you assume this person has got it out for you, right? What evidence do you have that's happening? And what evidence do you have that's probably overblown, right? Probably rush hour, right? I live in a small city that's growing. It's very, very big and busy, so the infrastructure has trouble keeping up. So there's always, that problem. People trying to get in and out of traffic and lights and whatever, and get to the faster roads. And also, in terms of personalization, the guy cuts you off. So does he have it out for you? How do you know that? Simply because, what? It was a simple cutoff. It wasn't like he just didn't signal. He didn't like give you the fingers. He didn't brake check you. Well, you got to look at it like if you weren't there, would he have done the same thing to anybody else? You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Quit taking it personally. Follow the Q-tip rule. Quit taking it personally. Seriously, there's no reason. People don't have a personal amicus against other people. It's more of like ideological, right? It's more of like you're just in my way, and I respectfully disagree that you're going too slow, for example. That's really what it is. That's what is going on in people's minds. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy and I'm gonna cut him off and then I'm gonna like, I don't know, I'm gonna like turn around and follow him and figure out where he's going. I know one case, and I'm 33 years old, of road rage that was, I could say, personalization. I'm not saying there's more. There probably is a lot of road rage cases that are personalization, and that's not a good thing. We're trying to change that. Whether or not that's out there and true is different than identifying thoughts in your head and changing the thoughts in your head and your behavior. Just gonna make that clear. As an aside, there was a story about some person who followed this person from like Edmonton to Philadelphia because he cut him off and then shot him. So, I mean, that's definitely a thinking error. I don't mean to, just don't do that. If someone cuts you off, just remember, look at it like, what evidence is there that perhaps he isn't some, a-hole who's got it out for you. Perhaps he's in a hurry. Perhaps he's late for a job interview. Perhaps he had a fight with his wife and now he's late for his work. Perhaps he's just a horrible driver. Perhaps he's old. Perhaps he's having a heart attack. Seriously, we don't think about these things. We just think about ourselves and our perceived slights. All right. Next thing you want to say is the similarities. You know how there's similarities in some thinking errors? For example, selective abstraction, right, is the same as magnification and minimization. Yeah, because if we look at things through a mental filter, that's what selective abstraction means. We will not, look at things in their true form. For example, let's say we look at something and the positivity of it, the positivity in that thing is about like this. If we magnify it, we would assume the positivity is this, right? Because we assume the negativity is getting higher. If we minimize it, we would assume the positivity is literally like non-existent. There is none, because we would assume that we're going into a situation that's a negative situation. So it's better to give examples. I mean, it's hard to give examples of these things. I hope that's clear though, because they're very, very related. Like, negative thinking is related to minimization. Minimization is basically when you minimize the positive. Oh, I'll give you an example just right now. I was taking my pills, right? And I my eyes kind of settled on one pill bottle. So I open it, and it's my pill for blood pressure. Then I open the next bottle next to it, and I realize it's empty. So I said, oh no, right? Then I looked to the pill next to it, and opened it, and I realized it had my pills. So I took it out I opened the bottle, took the pill out, put it in my hand, and started walking over here. And then I realized, oh my God, I just practiced negative filtering. I just practiced something I've been learning about. It's amazing, because you saw how in the beginning I thought, oh, I actually said something. I said, oh my God, in relation to the fact that I was out of my other pills. And then once I realized I wasn't, I simply made a mistake. I had a bottle of pills from an old whatever, and I put it there, I need to be cleaned or whatever. And I see the new bottle, I open it. I don't say anything. I don't say, oh, here they are, right? Disqualifying the positive. I don't say anything like, oh, wow, that's so great. Oh my goodness, that saves me a trip to the doctor. No, I simply opened the bottle, right? This is something that's common with people with anxiety and depression. It doesn't mean they're bad or they're not grateful enough. It's something that's just, it's a neurological, biological thing. And that's where the mental stigma comes into place. I opened the bottle, took the pill in my hand, and just started walking. And I wasn't being mindful. I wasn't being mindful of my thoughts. It wasn't until after I realized, oh, that was negative filtering. Because you disqualified the positive. The pills weren't there, and then you found out they were there. That means you're happy. You should be good. It saves you a trip from doing things. It saves you a hassle. Hope that's clear what negative filtering is, selective abstraction is, and minimization and magnification is. Basically, they're all related to kind of disqualifying the negatives that are happening in a situation and increasing the positives. And with personalization, it's also kind of taking things personally. Like, hey, why'd you have to cut me off? I'm driving fine. Like, are you? So really, you gotta lighten up a little bit. It is though. Personalization is looking at things from a different point of view and saying, well, what other evidence is there that, for example, could explain the person's behavior, instead of it being like, hey, he's out to get me. He's out there to get me. So that being said, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm not gonna do a hiatus. I'm gonna keep plowing on. I'm gonna keep plowing on. Though the videos are gonna get better in quality because they're gonna be more of like commenting videos in about 3 days, hopefully. 3 days, 4 days, hopefully. Commenting videos where like I have intervention playing. I'm sorry, intervention. A's obsessed playing. You guys understand what I'm saying. And I basically talk about like, oh, so this is an exposure therapy. This is what she's feeling. She's probably feeling, you know, anxiety in her chest, throat, I don't know, upper chest, perhaps her entire front of her body. You know, and because we need to demystify these feelings, guys. If we don't demystify them, they'll have power over us, and we'll start making mistakes in our lives, in our life, in our actions, in our judgments, and in our mental health. All right, guys. Remember, guys, stay with it.